Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Beautiful Monday. Only 4 days till Friday, and only two of those till Christmas. Yeah. Let's pray for the food that we're eating for breakfast and lunch and snack and supper and snack again. Our abundance of food. We thank the farmers. Pray for the farmers. We pray for cattle ranchers. I just ate a cow psycho cheeseburger. Looking at the leftover ketchup right now. And all the fruit and vegetable harvesters. And we just thank God for all the blessings of food and pray for those who don't have enough food in their lives that they can find an abundance of food and find finances and good fortune. Okay, we're going to the top of page 8, and here's the answers to number 3. And I just want to concentrate on these double signs. Anytime the first number or first ordered pair has a negative sign, it becomes a double sign because it's subtract. So this should be subtract -6, which is +6. This should be +3, that should be +8. And this should be +12. Okay, and again, how do you get +6 from here? It's 4 subtract -6. And when you subtract a negative, you get plus. Don't forget to reduce. Don't forget to reduce. Go ahead and write down reduce. So far it's been 2 for 2. And if it's a multiple choice question, you put -9/12, so you're going to get it wrong. Okay, reduce again. So 3 out of 4 are reduced. Pretty important that you remember that. Hope you got the answer. If not, go ahead and write it down. And you can pause it if you need some more time, but I'm moving on to E and F. Right now. I thought there was an E and F. There's E and F with big, big numbers. I love it. So this is +56. This is +172. And you get 0. Anytime you have 0, if you're not sure, if it's 0 or undefined, just punch in your calculator, 88 divided by 0, and it'll be error. Error means undefined. Okay, next question is that a vertical line or a horizontal line? If the slope is undefined. Easy way to understand it is, remember, slope is rise over run. So which one has a 0 run? Is it horizontal or vertical? Yeah, it's vertical. It doesn't go to right or left at all. And opposite, this one is slope is 0, and the means the rise is 0. So which one has rise is 0? It's horizontal line. Well, we learned that already. Good to revisit it. Revisit it. Revisit it. Okay, here are some hard questions. Finding K. Remember, you do it exactly the same, even though you don't have all the numbers here. You have a K. You do -7 plus 2. Slope formula. There it is. And 3 over 3 subtract K. It looks weird, but that's what you put. And it tells you it equals -1 over 2, and I would put my negative up top here. Now, from here, I would just do this part first. They kind of do it 2 steps in one. So -7 plus 2 equals -5 over 3 subtract K equals -1/2. And now you cross multiply. So you get 2 times negative, star this one, because this is one you got to know how to do, -10. And when you have -1 times a binomial, anytime you have 5 times a binomial, it's distributive property. If you have -1 times a binomial, it's distributive property. You have to multiply the -1 by everything in the binomial. So we write down -1 times 3 subtract K. So write down this is distributive property. Because the most common mistake is students multiply the 3 by -1 and they don't multiply the K by -1. Okay, to get that part now, you get negative 3 plus k, and then you add 3 to both sides to get k by itself. You get negative 7 equals k. Sweetness, what do they do here? Well, they do 2 steps at once again. So 3 subtract 5 go on the top. K subtract 2 go in the denominator equals the slope they give you. And now I'm going to just simplify that first to get negative 2 over k subtract 2. And again, you have to know how to do this next step. And that's the one that's going to get you full marks or maybe not even half marks. 7 times negative 2, everyone gets that part. But this is the hard part. 2 times a binomial is 2 bracket times the binomial. So you multiply the 2 by the entire binomial, so you get 2k subtract 4, not 2k subtract 2. And now this is an add or subtract first question. You've seen these by now. You need to know how to do them. You do the opposite of subtract 4. You add 4 first, and then you divide by 2 to get k equals negative 5. Written either way. Okay, I'll let you pause that and write down. Everyone should have all of this down for these 2 questions. And if you got it, great job. If you didn't get it, who cares? Write it down and study it. That's what we have a study star there. You're going to get a question or 2 like this. Key is you distribute when you multiply a number times a binomial. Okay, parallel perpendicular in the textbook now. Go turn to that homework. And we're not going to do all of them, but some of them. 3b. There we go. We remember when we did this last day, parallel lines have the same slope and perpendicular lines have a negative reciprocal slopes. So they're flipped and one of them has a negative sign, not both. One of them has a negative sign. 3b says they're parallel lines. So you have a slope of negative 4/3. What's the parallel slope line? What's the parallel line slope? And it's exactly the same. So there. For A or C, do you want to do 4A or C? Geez, I don't, yeah, 3B was there. 4A or C, we're from Canada, so let's do A. The slope is 7/6. So it says perpendicular line. I'm glad we did this one. Perpendicular line is you flip it. So it becomes 6/7, and then you have to add a negative sign if there isn't one, or you have to not add a negative sign if there is one. One of them has to be negative. So I think that's the first time we did that. Make sure you're on the right track for that guy. 5B or C? 5B or C? I like them both. And they're very similar. They're trying to trick you. Okay, first of all, we have to know that 6 means 6/1. Okay, you have to know that if you see negative 2, that's negative 2/1. And even 1 is 1/1. Any number is over 1. So are these numbers, the question is, are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? You got to really trust yourself on this one. This is reciprocal, but it's not negative reciprocal, so it's neither. If they were perpendicular, one of them would have to have a negative sign. Oh, here we go. One of them has a negative sign. Yeah, so what? They're not reciprocals. So this is neither as well, even though it kind of looks perpendicular because one has a negative sign, and it kind of looks parallel because they're almost exactly the same, but no siree. That's not good enough. Can't do it. No go. Six-a-rooney. Do I want to do A? Sorry, it's B, C, or D? Let's go with numbers. Okay, so let's go 5. That's the slope. So what slope is parallel to this? Well, it's the same. What slope is perpendicular to this? Okay, so star this one, you have to know how to do this. 5 is 5 over 1, so you flip it to 1 over 5. Good enough? No. Has to be a negative. Similarly, D is negative 4. Slope of a parallel is negative 4. Slope of a perpendicular, if you didn't get 6b perpendicular, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to do this one. And the slope is negative 4, so negative 4 over 1. You flip it to 1 over 4. This one already has a negative sign, so you don't need a negative sign on this one. Only one has a negative sign. There's our homework for today. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. Super duper. We're on page 9, my friends, page 9. And we're doing y equals mx plus b. Okay, here we go. Let's do the first one together. And the second one, you do it like we did it together here. Okay, so first of all, you have to understand which line is y equals 2x plus 1. That's why we like to, it's important to label lines, okay? So we're talking about this line here. What's the y-intercept? So where does this graph hit the y-axis is the question. And right there. Okay, so the y-intercept is 0, 1. And now what's the slope of this line? So let's go from this point. We could go from this far point to this point, but then we'd have to reduce. Let's go from this point to this point. What's the rise over run? So rise over run. That says rise. Slope equals 1, 2, 2 up, and then 1 to the right. 2 over 1, which is just 2. Okay, you go ahead and do this one using the green line here. That's the y equals negative 2. Find the y-intercept first. That's the easiest. And then the slope equals rise over run. And you can go from this point to this point because the points have to be exactly on the corner of a square so we can deal with whole numbers, okay? So every time you have a point, you're never going to choose this point on the line. It has to be a point that's perfectly on a corner of a square. So we have the exact same whole numbers to go up and down and left and right. Go ahead and pause. Actually, don't pause. You do that in 1 minute. When you're done that, answer this question, write it down. What do you notice? Okay, you're a mathematician, you're trying to discover new math. What do you notice about this math? Okay, so the y-intercept for the green is right here. So 0, negative 3. And the slope from this point to that point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So a rise of negative 5 and 1, 2. Remember, it's how many units you move. This does not count as 1. The starting point. What do you notice? What do you notice when you look at your answers here and compare them to the equation that you have? Yeah, you'll notice the top of the next page. Okay, slope is 2. Well, we have a 2 in the equation. Y-intercept is 1. We have a 1 in the equation. How about negative 5 halves? Yep, there it is. Negative 3. Whoa, so cool. All right, next page. They tell you the formula. When you solve for y, first of all, y has to be by itself. M, the number in front of x, is the slope. Whatever number's in front of x is the slope, as long as y is by itself. And the y-intercept is the number at the end, including the sign. Okay, so let's do example 1. The slope, and the symbol for y-intercept is b. Write that down. I guess x, y, a, b, they're kind of alphabetical order. The slope for this one, as long as y is by itself, so let's write that down. Y must be by itself. Y must be by itself, otherwise there is no slope-intercept form. Okay, it starts with y equals. Y equals. If that's the case, the number in front of the x is the slope, and the number at the end is the y-intercept. So I'm going to write it twice. I'm going to write it twice. I'm going to write down b equals 2, and then you have to write it as an ordered pair, 0, 2. Okay, that's what you can get from that. We're supposed to do this one together. I'm going to just rearrange this. So it has to be the x part first. Okay, it's y equals mx. So I'm just going to rearrange these terms to make it easier. And you go ahead and give me the slope and the y-intercept. And here the slope is the number in front of x, including the sign, so negative 2/3. And 7 is the y-intercept, 0, 7. This one, very easy to say, oh, slope is 8, y-intercept is 1, and you get 0. You don't want to make that mistake. You have to solve for y first. Okay, so just like if you have 6y equals 36, and you divide by 6, and you've been doing that for years now. Anytime you have 6y or 6 times y, you divide by 6. So that's what you do here. You divide by 6, and you divide both these terms by 6. So you're left with y equals 8 over 6 x plus 1 over 6. Okay, this is now the denominator. These are the numerators. Excuse me. Now, that's almost good, but now we have to reduce. So write down reduce if you can. I think I'm going to run out of room. So you have to divide these by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and you get 4/3 x. Okay, that's before, you do all that work before you even get to slope and y-intercept. So sometimes they're easy. Make these ones nice, nice. Sometimes you got to work for them, which means solve for y. You're going to hear me say solve for y many, many times. And now the slope is the number in front of x, and the y-intercept can be a fraction, and the slope can obviously be a fraction. We've seen that many times. Those are beautiful colors, beautiful questions. Any questions, let me know. Go ahead and say you want to meet me on the Google Meet chat room, question room. And I'd love to hear from you. Okay, if you need more time to write that down, go ahead and pause. I'm going to move on to example 2Z. Example 2 on page 10. Okay, so we're back to y equals mx plus b, and it's an important formula. When you solve for y, the slope is the number in front of x, and the y-intercept is the number at the end. If you have the slope and the y-intercept, you can graph any line you want to. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds to do A. Slope is a number in front of x. Don't put slope as 2x. That's wrong. Slope is 2. Slope is a number. There's no x in slope. And the y-intercept is 0, and don't forget the sign. And now we've done questions like this last couple lessons ago where I give you the slope and a point. We plot point first and then go rise over run. So 0, -5, we have to know whether it's here or here. Can't guess. You have to know that x is left and right, just like the x-axis. Y is up and down, so this is going up and down to -5. Okay, so that means it's going down 5. This is not, that's not the one. And now the slope is 2 over 1. That's the rise over run. So from here you go 2 up, 1 to the right. 2 up, 1 to the right. Why am I doing that more than once? Well, just to make a better line, because when the points are close to each other, it's hard to draw an accurate line. But also, I've read ahead. It says 3 other points. So remember, this one does not count. I need 3 more. So 1, 2, and then I go 2 up, 1 to the right again. There's my third point. It might be even easier to write the points down before we join the line, because it does say we have to join the line, so don't forget that easy part. So I've got this first red point as -1, +1, -3. Second point is 2, -1, 2 to the right, 1 down. And the third one is 3 to the right, 1 up. That's how you write those. Now, pardon me if I don't do a good job joining this line. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And then label that line, please. Y equals 2x subtract 5. Graphing calculator, fun. Give me a second, I'll get it out. Okay, there it is. And I need y equals 2x subtract 5. So I press y equals, clear anything in there. 2x is right beside the green button, plus 5. And then graph. I'm glad that's not, I changed the windows, so that's not good. So I need to press zoom 6. Zoom is the top middle button. So zoom and then the number 6 will get me a nice graph. That should be like the one we have. Let's see. So that's that, and that's that. So it would be up there. See -5. Oh, that's not it at all. 2x is supposed to be subtract 5? Yep, my bad. 2x subtract 5. So that's good. Something was wrong. I'm glad it was my calculator. So we did our work right, and there we go. And so that looks like that. 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 All right, good work. I like it. Next. Next says together. Don't really want to do it together. You try 3a. We'll give you a shot. Write the equation of each line with that slope and that y-intercept. I'll give you 22 seconds. That's exactly 22 seconds. Let's learn right now. You're going to have a question, write the equation all the time. Write the equation means equal sign. You have to put equals. Usually that means you have to put y equals. Okay, so if you put 4x subtract 9, can't give you full marks. You got the math right, but you have to put an equation. It asks for the equation. So please put y equals 4x subtract 9, and then you get free marks. Yeah. Example 3, right here. It says you do it. Okay, so do it just like we did example 2Z. And you can pause. I'll give you 3 minutes to do that. And don't forget to label your line. Label, label, label. Okay, let's get at her. First of all, when it says what's the slope and y-intercept, make sure you got y by itself, because only the formula y equals mx plus b works where the slope is the number in front of x and the y-intercept is the number at the end. Only if y is by itself, not negative y, not 2y, not 4y. Here, we're good. So the slope is the number in front of x. Do not put 2/3 x, it's 2/3. And the y-intercept is 0, -6. This one, I probably won't tell you this part. That gives you a nice hint. So plot 0, -6. Again, you have to tell me whether that is -0, -6, or that is -0, -6. This is your x, this is your y. Your y goes up and down, so your 6 is going up and down. Pow. Magic. Okay, so there's 0, -6 right here. Use the y-intercept formula, or sorry, the slope formula. Rise over run. Okay, so there's our rise, 2, and our run. So that's for 3 other points. So I could go to 2 up, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. 2 up, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. 2 up, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. That's 2 up, 3 to the right. That's over here. Okay, so here are the points. And again, sometimes I think it's easier just to make the points right now before you connect them, but don't forget to connect them. Okay, so we got this one, 3 to the right, 4 down. We got this one, 6 to the right, 2 down. And we got 9 to the right. All fun to connect. Label the graph. Write down sweet. This is fun. And use the graph in the x-intercepts using the graphing calculator. Okay, so you can use a graphing calculator, punch that into your calculator. I guess we should show you how to punch in 2/3. 2/3 x subtract 6 is 2x over 3. X stays in the numerator. Subtract 6, and you graph it. And does that look like this? Sure does. Good for us. The other way they're saying to find the XY intercepts and see if that works. And if I just do that quickly, and you don't need to write this down, as we'll do questions like this. If I found the y-intercept, it'd be 0, -6. If I find the x-intercept, I'd have 0 equals 2/3 x because y equals 0. So 6 equals 2/3 x. And then I cross multiply to get 18. and I get 9 equals x. So 9, 0. So then I just plot 0, negative 6, 9, 0, and then if I have 2 points on the line, that's all I need to draw the whole line. So that's another way you can verify. So cool. Okay, I have homework. I'll give you 5 minutes to work on homework, and then we're going to move on to the next new concept. Bravo, everyone. If you have any questions on example 2 or y equals mx plus b stuff, please ask, and I'll be in the chat question room. Take 5 minutes and then unpause. The homework being on page 11 and 12. Okay, I should make sure you know that when we have y equals, this is called the slope-intercept form. Okay, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. We said that once, but I should have probably said that in slope-intercept form a couple more times than that. Because we're going to be writing equations in slope-intercept form, which means solve for y, and general form, which means get one side equal to 0. Right now you have 5 minutes to study for the daily quiz, mainly on slope. The formulas for slope is rise over run, and when we just used for the homework on Friday, y2 subtract y1 all divided by x2 subtract x1. I'll provide you with the formulae and also know parallel perpendicular slopes. You got 5 minutes before our daily quiz. Pause for 5 minutes. Okay, here's your daily quiz. 5 questions out of 5. Formulas are in purple on top. 1, find the slope using rise over run. 2, find the slope using the other formula. 3, what's the slope and y-intercept if I give you y equals negative 2x subtract 7? And 4, graph y equals negative x plus 2 on graph paper. Of course, you're going to get, that's in slope-intercept form, so you're going to use that knowledge. And we just did questions like that. Number 5, punch that in your graphing calculator, and hopefully you see the same graph you got in number 4. Okay, you have 8 minutes to do that. Good luck, my friends. Please pause. Pause, 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 pause. Okay, let's see how you did. I don't think I'll use yellow. I guess I'll just stick with the same color. Find the slope. Okay, so rise over run is what you're writing down. That's supposed to be black. The rise first, how many spots or units do you go up or down to get to B? 1, 2, 3 down. So negative 3 is the rise. And then we go 1, 2, 3 to the right. And then make sure you reduce that, please. So great job. You're not done yet, though. You got to put that equals negative 1. Negative 3 divided by 3 equals negative 1. Find the slope. And the slope is y2 subtract y1. So 6 subtract 4. All divided by 9 plus 1. Or 9 subtract negative 1. That equals 2/10, and I intentionally gave you a reduce this one. 2/10 equals 1/5. Don't forget to do that. If you did, write yourself a study note. Well, everyone should write yourself what I write down. Okay, everyone write down reduce twice for those 2 questions. Slope here is the number in front of x, negative 2, and y-intercept is the number at the end, including the sign, so 0, negative 7 is the y-intercept. 4 is a little trickier with slope, but 2 is the y-intercept. Okay, so slope equals what? I'm going to go with the easy one. The y-intercept is 0, 2. Now the slope is the number in front of x. What number is in front of x? You got it. You got it. Negative 1. Okay, if there's no number, it's a 1. So -1 is the slope. So now I graph, remember I said plot the point first. Now we have to plot the point first. So 0, -2, sorry, 0, +2 is 2 up. And then the slope is -1, which is -1 over 1, which is -1 rise, 1 run, -1 rise. So 1 down, 1 to the right. 1 down, 1 to the right. 1 down, 1 to the right. Usually it says, give me 3 other points on this line. So now you connect those. Write down the equation, y equals -x plus 2. Good for us. Y equals -x plus 2 looks like this. Y equals negative, not subtract, x plus 2. Graph. Is that what we got? Is that what they got? Is that what we got? Good job. Okay, so you have to know how to do all those for sure in this unit. That's the beginning of the unit. Still got much to do. And make sure you clean up any question you got wrong. Write down the answer, and then everyone here who attended on Monday will get 5 out of 5 on this daily quiz. Good job. That's a good way to make Mondays worth it. You're welcome. Don't say you're welcome. I'll say thank you to you for coming on a Monday. Good job. Appreciate it. 10 more days of fun until Christmas holidays. Yes! I think one of the favorite things I get for Christmas is when we go to Heritage Deli and get those pierogies. Oh, pataha in Ukrainian. Halapchi. What do you think halapchi means? Cabbage rolls. What do you think kubazal means? Yes, the farmer sausage. And pataha means pierogies. Yeah. There's also a great Easter dish called Pascha. It's just wheat and honey. But I love it. Oh, my Baba. She made everything so good. All right, I'm rambling. Stop rambling and go to page 12. Writing equations. So remember you have page 10, 11 for homework. Just gave you 5 minutes to do that. Writing equations is something that we're going to be doing a lot of for the next 2, 3, 4 days. Remember, I think I have a big study star, but writing an equation means you have to put y equals. Write the equation. Okay, so I need an equal sign. I like this question, and it tells me for you to do it, so I'm going to wait. Go ahead. I'll pause for... And time to do this equation. It can't be 4:44 yet. 4 o'clock. So I'm going to write down y equals mx plus b. And the thing you need to know, and it's going to help you a lot, is that you need to know that this is a y-intercept. Okay, this is the, instead of me saying the y-intercept is 2, you have to recognize that all y-intercepts have x equals 0. So any of time you see a point like this, I'm giving you the y-intercept. Even though I'm not telling you the y-intercept is, I am telling you the y-intercept is. So make sure you know that. That's just a sexy nickname for y-intercept. Okay, so when you see 0, 2, bam, you think, okay, let's do it the easy way. I'm going to put the slope in front of the x and the y-intercept at the end. I'm done. If you don't do that, you might have to do a couple steps, which is a lot harder, and you'll get the exact same answer. This is much easier. So make sure you know when I give you points like these guys that they're y-intercepts. This is not a y-intercept, that's an x-intercept. Okay, so don't put that plus 2. Y-intercepts have x equals 0. Those are all y-intercepts. Okay, next page, example 2, page 13. It's kind of the opposite of what we did. I gave you the slope and the y-intercept and with an equation, and you graphed the line. Now we are looking at the line, picking out the x-intercept and the slope and the y-intercept, and then forming an equation of a line. Okay, so we have to know what to do here. I need a slope and I need a y-intercept. And if I get a slope and a y-intercept, I can put it into an equation. So I'm going to do line 1, and I always like starting with the y-intercept. It's easiest. So this line 1 hits the y-axis at 0, -4. And now I'm going to have to work for my rise over run. Okay, on any 2 points on this line, I could take it on the intersection point. I think I'm actually going to go to this point, right on the corner of a square. And I can see that the slope is 1 over 3. Okay, 1 up, 3 to the right to get to this point. So 1 up, 3 to the right is the slope. So now I'm able to answer the question, determine the equation of a line. So the slope is 1/3. So I write down 1/3 x, don't forget the x part. And the y-intercept is -4, so I put -4 right there. Okay, so go ahead and find the y-intercept and the slope. I'm going to let you do line 2. And then write the equation that corresponds to your slope and your y-intercept. I'll let you pause that and take whatever time you need. Okay, thank you for your hard work. I'm going to go y-intercept. Oops, that's supposed to be blue. Y-intercept first on this line. And the y-intercept hits right there. So 1, 2 up. Now what's the slope? I need to find, I think I like this corner right here the best. Okay, or I could pick this one too, but I can't pick this one because it's right in the half of a square. I need the corner of the squares so I can clearly see the slope, what exact fraction it is when I go up a whole number and I go down a whole number, and to the right and left a whole number. So if I pick this point, I'm going down 1, 2, 3. So slope is -3 because I go down, and then 2 to the right. Okay, so if you didn't get that, I'm going to let you write down the equation, or at least get the last part. Write the equation with the slope of -3/2 and the y-intercept of 0, 2, please. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and a 3, and a 2. Hut, 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 1. So y equals -3 over 2x. Slope goes first. Y-intercept at the end. Very similar, except for they don't walk you through it in the next example. So you have to know you're searching for the y-intercept and the slope when I give you a graph. Okay, you have to know that. I'm not going to say find the y-intercept, find the slope, what's the equation line. I'm just going to say find the equation of the line. Okay, you have to know that means slope and y-intercept from the graph. Get slope and y-intercept. Okay, so, and read this question. I don't want you to do example or line 3. Don't worry about this one, but I do want line 2 and line 1 right now. Go ahead and take some minutes to do that, and unpause, pause now, and then unpause when you're ready to rock and roll. I love rock and roll. Put another quarter in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. I think something, something, and dance with me. Hey. I forgot the woo in that song. Okay, here's the question that you did. And I'll let you just correct them. Remember, To get the slope, you're going to use rise over run. And that's how you get the slope. I like this one. So this one, when you reduce it, that just means you didn't choose the points closest to each other, and that's okay. If you get a slope of -2/4, that's the same slope as -1/2, but you do have to reduce it. Okay, so if you put -2/4 here, you would lose a half mark because you didn't reduce the slope. And look at that, you had a slope of 1. So all these points are on the corner of the square. So 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right. And that's the slope of 1. So cool. And the other thing I want you to do is if you see line 2, you should know by now this is a negative slope. So just take a quick peek, because if you lose your negative sign, you go 2 down, but you forget to put -2, you put 2. You should be able to look at it very quickly and tell me whether it's a negative slope or a positive slope. Okay, if it goes down from left to right, it's a negative slope. And if it goes up from left to right, it's a positive slope. So your negative slopes, you might be able to catch your mistakes if you just take a quick peek. Say, okay, line 2, I got slope -2/4. Let's see it. Yeah, it should be a negative slope. Takes 5 seconds. Okay, so the one you didn't have to do, I think, was line 3. Lines 3, I'm going to look at. No, line 3 is this way. It's a positive slope. All right, good job, good job, good job. I believe we'll stop right there. Do your homework right now when you have extra time. You're on page 11 and 12. Okay, go to pages 11 and 12 and finish off your homework. Hopefully you have time to do most of it, if not all of it. And after that, you'll hear it twice today. God bless. Have an awesome day. Ha ha ha.